A sunny Saturday at the Kyocera Stadium. Welcome to a battle that needs little introduction. The rivalry between England and Australia in world sport is world famous, and today at the 2014 Hockey World Cup we get to see England and Australia's men play off in a very important matchday 4 clash in Pool A, with the Kookaburras on top of the standings, unbeaten through 3 games, and England having drawn first up against Spain, now just dropping down to third after the last result of the day, where Belgium had a good win over Spain. So Australia well placed, England also well placed if they can find a good result today. I'm Quentin Hull. Simon Mason, the 3-time Olympic keeper for Britain, is my company. And you just get that little tingle every time you think of England and Australia.
Of course you do, that long-standing rivalry. And it'll be all about whether England can contain the early ferocity that will come out of Australia. They've been dominant from first whistles, and England need to be on their guard right from the off.
Some gold in the stands. Cross of St George as well. And here come the teams. Mark Knowles and Barry Middleton at the head of their groups. England in red, the world number 4, and Australia, the world number 1. These two teams, well, under the guise of Great Britain, but in all essence, these two groups of players battled for bronze at the Rabobank Arena in London, and it was Australia that came out on top there. They have famously played in a World Cup final. It was way back in 1986 in London, and that was Australia's first world title, and the only time that England's been to the final. So the history is there. The camaraderie and rivalry between these two proud sporting nations is there, and we hope that the chapter of today provides us with some thrilling moments, some fair sport, and great hockey entertainment. Sun starting to just become a bit more prominent as we prepare for the anthems. Well, it's just the pool phase, Simon, but when you have God Save the Queen and then Advance Australia Fair, it's always great to be inside the stadium. Enjoy it with us. Here are the representatives for England today.
And it's going to be about whether players such as Catlin can play at the front of a Middleton and Jackson triangle and make inroads into the Australian defence. There's a lot of pace through the England side. Not a massive amount of experience, though Lewis coming back in at fullback will help.
Aussie fans are in. As it just ticks to midnight East Coast time in Australia. Bobby Crutchley, well, I actually went past him and said, good luck. And he said, no, you don't mean that. And I said, well, I do.
All right, bit of apprehension, bit of nerves, bit of feeling in this game. Australia, England, yeah, it's fucking good, all right? Think about it. It's the team that uses that to their advantage. We've got the weather, we can run over them. Point for big mate at the start of the game. Don't be scared to make a mistake for your team. It's when we don't do anything is the problem. Yeah, pressure on the ball carrier. 70 minutes, 70 minutes, 70 minutes. Keep it going every time. Get in the game.
Boys, you've got to look. Off the ball, without the ball, you've got to look. It's louder. It's getting louder each game. We're getting better, okay? Stay fucking focused and on task.
And our apologies for some of the very intense words from the Australians, but here's the lineup. Mark Knowles captains a very experienced team. Outside of a player, number 32, Jeremy Hayward, just 21 years of age in his 14th game, but has done his bit throughout the tournament. Rick Charlesworth in his last World Cup campaign as Australian coach. The man who was actually the top goal scorer in that 1986 tournament where Australia beat England. Let's go. England in red to right. Australia in gold to the left. This the second last preliminary match for these two teams. A win for Australia today ensures they make the semi-finals. 3 points for England will go a long way to doing that as well. With Ockenden pressuring Catlin and winning a turnover. And already Godis with some space inside the D. Well, can you believe it? Matt Godis scores inside the opening half minute. Australia 1, England 0 before the fans have taken their seats.
And in that huddle, we heard Australia say pressure on the ball carrier. They pressed, they nicked it, they've gone in through the head of the circle. It's bobbled away, and it's drilled past Pinner's right foot with nothing he can do from 10 yards. What a leap and connection.
Late call into the squad, and what a strike from Matt Godis for Australia. Not quite as quick as the Steve Edwards goal for New Zealand. Earlier in the tournament, that's the second fastest goal of the World Cup, though.
It is indeed, and England caught hesitant. They went from the pushback and they went back all the way to left back, across to right back, and then chose to try and carry it forwards up the turf through centre midfield, and they were absolutely punished. There was a lack of decisiveness about the passing lanes, and it allowed Australia to step forwards.
Doesn't that just get the blood racing if it wasn't previously, as Knowles. He's got Kavanagh out on the right, Catlin his company. Gee, Simon, how do England recover from that? It's only early. There's still a heap of the game to go. It's not even worth saying, really, but it's just trying to put that out of your mind and focus. Just wait to see what the Australians do here as Turner's trying to create out on the right. Deven, Ockenden with 2 to beat. And looks like Ian Lewis has copped a nasty knock there.
Fine.
Yeah, he's just gone into shoulder to shoulder, or shoulder to side of head as he's gone through contact. But to your question, Brendan, the answer is you forget it. There's absolutely, obviously nothing you can do. So you go back, resort to the plan that you had, because Crutch's plan would have obviously been to try and win this game, therefore scoring at least 1 goal. So you do that, you're back in it, it's not a problem.
So Brogdon to bring in for England. This English team starting its campaign with a draw against Spain, 1-1. But a late Simon Mantell penalty corner gave England a 2-1 win over India as Jackson passes nicely. And a bit of space for Martin down low. Good skill from Martin. Charter had to save there. It came off an Australian leg and a penalty corner for England.
And I thought Martin's first touch was poor, but in the end he was able to get his feet round it. Led him down to the baseline. We see here Jackson's popped it to him. Martin's able to skip round the challenge and getting it across the circle. Finds the instep of Knowles' foot, I think it was, that gives away the corner.
So the Australians suit up. Lewis will bring in Jackson and Gleghorn at the top of the battery. There's Ash Jackson. He's been battling a bit of a shoulder injury in this tournament, but he's still been a very prominent force. Could we see an equaliser within 4 minutes? Gleghorn. Charter saves with the glove, still alive. Free hit to Australia. It was on target from Gleghorn, but Charter's mitt was in the right position.
As it comes out to Gleghorn, stop down to the left of Charters, he whips it round. That's a great right-hand save, because good disguise from Gleghorn. He's picked it and whipped it round his feet.
Already struck home twice in this tournament, Gleghorn, as here's young Hayward down low for Australia. That's taken a flexion. Dwyer was looming, but for the touch of Hoare. And Jamie Dwyer's not a man you want to have space inside the D if you're the opposition.
That's a great takedown from Hoare. England have missed the overhead into the circle. It's a little off touch. Dwyer there swinging. I thought he could have gone through with that a little harder. Hoare in the end touching it away.
Today becomes the second most capped Kookaburra, Jamie Dwyer, passing Brent Livermore, and Jay Stacey's record of 321 is in sight. In appearance, 318 for Jamie Dwyer for today.
And just to go into the books with those two players, world-renowned, recognised players, great servants for Australia over many years, to go up there, surpass their records. It's exceptional in its own right.
Knowles. I think everyone's just waiting to settle a little after that opening goal from Matt Godis. Kavanagh's ball is an incisive one. Hayward looking for Dwyer down low. Gleghorn tracking him. Auto pass and draws the foot again.
Just keep an eye on number 12 of England. Yeah, no, it's okay. Just
12 of England.
Hayward back to Devon.
I got him. I got 12 really.
Kavanagh.
Got him.
Knowles. Australia showing some patience now. Try and work their next penetration into the D.
Lovely little drop-off as Australia go down the right-hand side, and they would have been able to deliver on the backhand from Hammond. He decides to recycle so that Australia can then take their first substitution. Maddie Smith coming in.
And a nice high press there from Middleton. But that did take an English stick. So Govers inbounds. Dwyer with again Gleghorn there and making a fine challenge. And that's a free hit to England on the stick check. If you've just turned on and thought, oh, whoops, I missed the start of the game. You missed the first goal. Matter of seconds in, Matt Godis putting Australia in front before England had even had the ball on their stick. Lewis.
Australia's tactic to step out on loose passes. As soon as the ball goes to backhand, they're able to come out, put pressure on and try and steal the ball.
Orchard takes it away. Dwyer, De Young, behind. 15-metre, 16-yard hit.
But a willingness to chase down every ball. De Young overlapping through the midfield, high up onto the touchline.
Just a loose touch there. Matty Swan coming in hard on Mantell. Martin.
Just looking for a little bit of lift to go over De Young's stick. De Young getting his left hand down to the turf really well, so the whole 36 inches of that composite stick can cover a massive amount of passing lane. That's a shove in the back.
Weir's ball looking for big shingles. So Jackson, the superstar number 7. Well, that's a bit of a loose ball. And Knowles, as so often we see, just ghosting that attacking line around the D. The overhead has given Govers a chance. Kieran Govers has got 3 men to beat. Dwyer's now coming to help him. And, oh, Dwyer came more so to the player than to the far post.
Okay,
Yeah.
Good.
And had the communication been right there, more drama for George Pinner's goal.
Well, Govers just accelerated as soon as it was chucked up long from Knowles. Govers down the right-hand side. Dwyer, first and foremost, went to the far post, and it was the right ball. We see on the replay, what an acceleration from Govers, missed by Hoare.
Now Devon. No touch on the way behind. Kieran Govers on screen, and there's Rick Charlesworth. Scored 6 goals in that 1986 tournament in London, when it was the only occasion where Australia played England in a World Cup final. Indeed, the only occasion that England has made a World Cup final. It finished 2-1 that day. 3-on-1 out there for Mantell. But Dixon takes the auto pass. Mantell got to the right spot. But Australia away. Hammond has Wetton with him. 3-on-2 against the Aussies. Godis. And back for the reset.
The distance that Hammond can travel down that left-hand side, carrying the ball uncontested out to his left, changed the ball very much from a defensive outlet into an offensive position, because he carried it a good 40 metres down the left-hand touchline, with England just chasing.
Godis with Jackson. Tight, Swan the target. Also good hustle there from Carson. And England will come away.
16, come on, leave it alone.
It's a draw, first up 1-1 against Spain for England, and then wins 2-1 over India and 2-0 over Malaysia. So Belgium is to come for Bobby Crutchley and his men. While Australia's tournament so far, 4-0 over Malaysia, 3-0 over Spain, and 3-1 over Belgium. They face India in their last game before we get to the classification and medal rounds. Leghorn. And nice ball for White.
Well, Lewis came out of it in the end quite well, but it was exactly the same pattern of play. England passing the ball into centre midfield, who has his back to the direction he wants to go, turning, not able to go through the space, and then just laying it back to the fullbacks as a get out of jail. But Australia anticipating, doing what they've done so well for so many years, stepping forward and swarming, putting pressure on, and it was Lewis in the end who nearly got robbed.
Sorello. Swing and a miss from Shingles, but no drama there. Ockenden, should I say, does well to win the ball for the Kookaburras. Now Sorello, stick check outside the D. This off the ball.
Well, the two umpires have already had a word in their headsets about working off the circle, playing off inside the circle, shoulder to shoulder. Whiteman's been warned about it a couple of times during the course of this tournament already.
Ockenden back for Sorello. Kavanagh. Nice close there from Mantell, just ensuring Fergus Kavanagh couldn't go directly down the corridor, but a penalty corner for Australia. Might have got the foot of Lewis.
Yeah, cheap corner, it's gone out wide. Lewis has not quite got across. Actually, it's Lewis who's touched it up onto Hall's foot. Lewis gets the touch because he's read Wetton's movement. But Hall's back foot just inside the D.
So first penalty corner for Australia.
Historically, Sorello's had success against Pinner down to Pinner's right. Offensively, the bottom left-hand corner.
Just the one goal so far in the tournament for Chris Sorello, who you see on screen. And Jeremy Hayward is also at the top of the D for Australia. It's De Jong bringing in. Sorello, low and right, but tapped in by De Jong, who came off the back line, having brought the ball in. We might have a referral here. The number 2 thinks it's 2-0.
Yeah, the umpire's having a chat. They're talking to each other. There's a video.
I just want to be 100% sure that the ball has not come off the goalkeeper onto an attacker's foot, but has hit the stick. Can you just check that for me, please? It's my referral.
Team
Understand, I'll check for you onto the foot of the attacker.
So as Pinner's saved this, so Pinner makes the first save. Does it come off his hand
Has it hit his
into
body?
the Australian body? See the replay. Out, stop dead. Sorello, as we said, likes to go down to Pinner's right. For a big man, he's got down well. Good save. Has that hit hand on stick or has that hit body? To me, first replay, that's hand on stick.
Looked okay first time, but they'll have to have another look to see if the knee also made some contact. was a very good piece of stick skill from Liam de Jong.
Can't see from that angle, but then the follow-up's great because he's reacted, he's kept his head down, he's kept on the front foot. Good save, right hand up. To me, that's hand on stick. But we'll see what umpire Dion Nell has to say, whether it comes off his knee after that.
I can't see them taking this away from Liam de Jong on the evidence we've seen.
Yeah, on the angles we've seen, I think that's almost unable to comment on the decision.
Gary?
Yeah.
I have no reason for you to change your decision.
Goal stands.
Australia indeed doubles its lead. Liam de Jong's 35th goal for his country. And 2-0 in the 13th minute for the Kookaburras.
Yeah, almost impossible for Pinner to do anything any better than he did. That's a great bit of goalkeeping in the first instance to get down that low. It was a powerful flick. And it's one of those ones that it can go absolutely anywhere. It's hit de Jong on the handle of his stick and popped down for him. Here we see it again, out, stop, dead, long drag. Number one runner's jumped over it to give Pinner a sight. It's hit de Jong, seen it, opened the blade, twisted his wrists, fired it above Pinner, who's in a good barrier, but nothing he can do. Does react well to get a hand up, but it's instantaneous.
And yet again, the men in gold at the right end of the pitch, but Turner loses it over the side. It's an uncanny knack as Liam de Jong has a drink. Outside of the Malaysian game, Australia has been able to really jump out of the blocks in this World Cup and get early goals on the board.
Well, it's almost carbon copy of what they did to Belgium, isn't it? They were 2-0 up within 13 minutes in that game. They then did take their foot off the gas a little bit, and it took them till the start of the second half to score again. So England now need to just take heart from that.
Well, great work from Catlin. He's having to do it all himself. Middleton was there as well, and now the captain will take the self-pass. Knowles, captain on captain there, ensuring it couldn't get through.
Watch me over there, Gary. Yeah, thank you.
Carson's at the far post, that's where they're trying to go. But just too many numbers, and Orchard comes away for the Kookaburras. And happy to run with Jackson chasing. Nice stick from Ash Jackson, but Orchard keeps going. And eventually, Alistair Brogdon dispossesses Simon Orchard. Oh, Zalewski returns the favour. Just didn't time that pass.
Well, that's turnover, classic. You win it back, you immediately try and do something a little bit too difficult. When England win it back, they need to go lateral to play to space, just to take the ball away from the contest that Australia are creating wherever the ball carrier is.
Sorello out in this Saturday afternoon sunshine. We did have a bit of rain earlier on today. It was forecast to be one of the hottest days of the tournament. And it might be a slow burn on that respect. As Devon's ball as well trapped, well, once and twice by Lewis, but quick ball, and Devon working with Orchard. That is play on, and Lewis says, let's get out of here.
Great quick hands for a big man as he takes that down in the middle of his circle.
The goal scorer, Matt Godis, or the opening goal scorer, Rob Hammond, Devon and Dixon, and it's going to be Dixon's push. Australian fans may remember the Nottinghamshire man, Adam Dixon. He was a very good performer at the Melbourne Champions Trophy. Didn't make the London squad, but player of the year for England, as Catlin is now again on a solo dribbling run. Doing very well, Nick Catlin.
He's doing very well. Eliminated probably 3 people as that came down the middle of the pitch, but he needs to link up with Jackson and Middleton through that midfield. So he's not all on his own.
And Weir. Turner giving chase. Still Weir, feeding 2. Winning the free hit. Jackson into the body.
Thank you. In.
Shin pads of Hammond as he stepped out to put pressure on Jackson. England have worked free hits well so far this tournament.
Kavanagh's going to mop up that battle for possession. Doesn't seem hampered as yet with that shoulder injury, Ash Jackson. He ripped in a corner in the win over Malaysia and came to the bench straight away and got ice on his right pectoral region and shoulder region, so there's obvious pain there, but he's just so valuable England need every bit of Ashley Jackson's brilliance today to come from this 2-0 deficit back into the game.
Yeah, we see the big game players willing to do their bit for their teams.
Oh, Fox with a loose touch, but does well to get it back to Lewis. Even hard on Jackson there. Good contest. Whiteman cleaning up. Oh, has to go again.
Going backwards now is what invites the pressure, is where England have been undone. It's always nervous moments when you go from half-back to full-back, when it's one-on-one.
And Henry Weir, 24 years of age, approaching the half-century of caps, up to appearance number 41 today. Mark Knowles, the Australian skipper. 235th appearance today as England just try and find a way through this midfield press from the Australians. They're sitting very high. All of their players are now, the line is starting to move back from beyond halfway. They were basically up at the halfway line. Jackson says, I'll take you on. Wins the hit. And is this going to be a green card? No.
Barry, yeah.
No. Just bringing the free hit back to the halfway line. And that's up off the stick of Brogdon, so Australia's free hit.
And if England are going to go long, they probably need to just carry the ball another 10 yards into the Australian half before they start to try and play the inside balls. Australia setting up a defensive spine down the middle of the pitch. Players very much happy to cut the pitch in half and make England play wide of them.
Turner. With Fox in front of him. Takes him on, Glenn Turner. Lewis helps out. And England with numbers in that defensive left corner. Bit of space for Lewis. Now the skipper. Barry Middleton. Still battling away. Appearance 308 for England today as Brogdon goes down low. Poor touch, though, from Harry Martin. Now Dwyer is able to link with Hammond and to the fellow shaven-headed Turner. Poor doing enough. You've been in this position, Simon, this high Australian press in midfield. What's the best way to counteract it?
Well, I think you've got to play well through the wing channels, come into centre-half later. If you go into centre-half from full-back, you need to go in with the purpose of bouncing him back out again. My biggest concern for England at the moment is they don't appear to be able to keep a sweep or a free man on the line to goal. So when the passes come in, it's very much one-on-one.
Martin with 3 gold shirts around him, and that's an incisive pass. He did well to get it through the sticks to Condon, but Condon couldn't track. The fans at the Kyocera Stadium have been absolutely terrific throughout the first week of the tournament. Another chance for England here. Yeah, strange to think it was this time last week when we were all getting underway, and in a week's time it will be the day of the women's final.
Indeed, the time has flown by, and that's testament to the quality of the hockey that we've seen by and large. These athletes treat this competition as a peak in the middle of that 4-year Olympic cycle. It's everything they do to come out here in full stadia this afternoon and enjoy playing in front of these crowds, being able to showcase their skills. At times, moments of individual brilliance we've seen. What's the effectiveness of team defence and attack?
So Fox switches out for Weir. England chasing the game, but starting to get a bit of traction. Catlin wins the free hit from the body check of Tim Deven. High ball. Here's half a chance. Carson. Well tackled by Hayward. And that was a bit cute from Kieran Govers.
Didn't give Hayward a lot of chance as he came down that left-hand side. All he was ever going to do was try and bat it away.
So Catlin's got shingles down the right. Govers with a well-placed low stick. Rick Charlesworthy wants to get into the action almost. Pacing right near the sideline.
Well, given the amount of turf they've given this field.
Well, let's hold that thought as Mantell. Oh, lovely trap from Hammond. Good challenge on the salt and pepper head, Simon Mantell.
Oh, it was a static run from Mantell as he picked it up. He didn't come off the line right from the start, needed to move his feet more.
Well, Orchard doing absolutely everything to try and keep that movement going for Australia. And here he is again. De Jong, that's good skill. The pass just a little away from him. And now the patience.
And if you look at the difference in effectiveness on the flanks, Australia have been able to get the ball out wide and simply drive through spaces. Well, I mean that physically, get the ball out in a great carrying position, put a shoulder into the line of the tackle and just simply drive through it. For England, it's been a little bit individual skills, trying to go round, cute little touches. It's not quite been assertive enough.
Turner trying to battle through Hague, and Martin's able to come away. Catlin. We apparently sat an exam this morning, so I was reliably informed. It's been a very busy day for Nick Catlin. So apparently he's doing some element of a law degree, and he sat an exam before playing today. And I was told that he also did like in Delhi during the Commonwealth Games in 2010, and well, his mind's on the job there, saying some great sticks still. Hammond for Australia. De Jong on the right. Turner, Zalewski, good stick Jackson, still Australia's chance here. Turner again, De Jong follows up, Turner! Wide. Scored the first goal of the World Cup, Glenn Turner.
Well, you only have to look at how Glenn Turner picks this ball up. He picks it up, tries to drive in, and it's with real aggression. Now it's on the charge forwards, front foot smash. All of it being created, though, by Australia's assertiveness as they come forward towards the England defensive line. Almost rugby-esque as the ball goes down those green and gold kit players. They're just bursting forwards through the spaces with real aggression.
A nice move from Singles to get past Dwyer, and an important touch from Matt Swan, because Mantell was waiting at the top of the D. Simon Mantell goes and gets his own ball, and Swan's there with him again. And all the way back for Hoare for the reset. Fox for Shingles. Dixon's making a run for him. But Wetton double teams, and now Dwyer has the chance to show his skill. Jamie Dwyer to Hammond. Catlin, oh, wonderful stick. Beautiful challenge from Nick Catlin. Play, play, they say. So Kavanagh says, thank you very much. Zalewski. Hammond. Weir does well.
Brave defending from Weir.
Still a chance for Australia. Zalewski, or Weir goes again. There for England in a time of need. But again, the men in red pinned in their own 25. And Australia saying, well, we'll bring it out a bit. See if we can draw some space in there. The goals to Matt Godis and Liam de Jong. Australia 2, England 0, 10 minutes to the break in this penultimate pool game for these two teams. A win today will seal a 10th consecutive World Cup semi-final appearance for Australia. Whereas England can go to the top of the group if they win this game. Belgium having a victory over Spain preceding, which has put the Red Lions well and truly back in the fight in Pool A. Kavanagh.
Australia just have that real determination and understanding about the interchange of passes. England just need to adopt slightly more certainty and an earlier thought process if they're going to get out of these areas. Australia are able to exert consistent, continual pressure.
Well, that wasn't timed all that well, and it was a 1-on-3. Real ask of David Condon there. Sorello. Eddie Ockenden scored 2 goals this tournament. And here's the goal scorer from the opening seconds.
And this is physically exhausting for England, unable to get the ball back and just having to chase and to shuttle. The forwards not able to step out. There needs to be a call from behind to get pressure on the ball carrier. Australia talked about it.
Incisive there from Knowles, up from Cirillo to Ockenden. And here's Eddie Ockenden once more. Ooh. Eventually, or can they get clear? Yes. Mantell wins the free hit. Aaron Zalewski on screen. Paul's ball is well taken by Brogdon. Free hit for England. Can they find something here? A little under 8 minutes to the break. And yet again, it's the explosive Kookaburras setting up the game with early goals. It was 2 in the opening 9 minutes against Belgium and 2 in 13 minutes here to ensure they hold the whip hand. Godis with a ball for Jake Wetton, the little terrier. Nice touch from Shingles, but he keeps going, Wetton. Another touch from Shingles.
Yeah, 2 touches, but both of them were very last-ditch, scything, sweeping tackles. England really struggling, as you saw on the...
Oh, Swan diving. And does DeYoung find foot? No, play on, and it's tapped in for a goal to Jamie Dwyer. Wetton was the man that had the last touch before Dwyer tapped it in.
Do you want to refer?
Yes, please.
Team referral, I suggest, here from England.
Yeah, England felt it was dangerous, the swing in the middle of the circle.
Looking for dangerous play with the stick, a swing and a miss. Having missed the ball, I've played advantage. I did not believe it was a dangerous situation. Can we have your opinion, please?
Look at it for you.
So interesting in that question is we've got the words opinion. Our umpire on the field seen it.
He didn't.
So umpire Gilnell has got to proceed. It's come up of a hand. Advantage has been given. There's nothing wrong with that passage of play. Swan's taken it down.
Yeah, when I
now,
played advantage,
swing and a miss.
See whether that's dangerous or not.
So all of a sudden, Shingles has had to jump out the way.
So that's the call. That's
It's a 50-50. It's a complete miss. Defenders jumped because of that. Then it's been allowed and Pinner's carried on and the tapping in front. So it's whether Gilnell perceives that to be dangerous.
I've seen the swing, the miss, and you have interpreted that as not danger. I see no clear reason to change your decision.
I'm going with the goal then.
That's correct.
The goal to Dwyer stands. And that's always the danger when you refer on an assessment of one of the grey areas of the game. And that's indeed what had been decided out on the pitch. And Wetton to Dwyer, tapped it home into the open net, 3-0 Australia.
Yeah, it's one of those 50-50s that sometimes you see blown one way, sometimes you don't. It's gone to referral. The problem was that England, I don't think, clarified why the decision had not been given. If they had done and heard the word opinions in the first instance, they probably would not have gone upstairs.
So he resets the Australian record every time he scores a goal. Jamie Dwyer, that's now 205 for the 5-time World Player of the Year. 3-0. Godis off the Kavanagh interception and pass. Wetton with him on the left. It's a gold wave at the moment. England just need to stand firm and get to half-time without sustaining further damage.
And that's all about when they get the ball back. Care on possession. Lewis a moment ago looking despondent as he tried to go cross-field and missed it, but he was trying to play a 60-yard eye of the needle pass, when in fact his team just need to hold the ball to get a breath back, to regroup. Middleton now stepping out, but there isn't an England player within 20 metres of him.
Knowles. Oh, again, Wetton was somewhat unmarked in the middle of the D. Gleghorn coming away. And I think, Simon, this is the time to remind England fans and give them some hope of that game in the pool phase at the Rabobank Arena when Australia led 3-0 there. Admittedly, it was Great Britain, but essentially the same unit here. And it went back to being a shared points game. It finished 3-3 that day. So it's been done before.
It has been done before, and in the game against Belgium, Australia definitely took their foot off the gas. They're not making that mistake in this first half. They're chasing every ball down and appear to have an extra yard of pace whenever they get it. The preparedness from players, particularly down this left flank, to drive with purpose. Wetton here just shoving Gleghorn away, which was the reason for the green card.
It's the kind of player that every team needs, just that busy little pest, Jacob Wetton. A bit of a patch-up job as well, while he spends his 2 minutes on the sideline. Players have been very happy with the way that the pitch is played here at Kyocera Stadium. But if sun gets out and gets dry, they have said, yeah, it's still a bit sharp at times. But what a facility we've got. 15,000 fans at capacity. Regularly the home of ADO Den Hague, the football team, but it's hockey heaven in 2014.
Yeah, the players will be happy with how the turf plays. The danger of a new turf is that the wax that's applied to it during transport hasn't burnt off, so it's all a bit slippery. So they'll far prefer it to have a little bit more grip, which does mean it's a little abrasive, so if they go down hard, they'll lose a bit of skin, but it's a far better way to play than a slippery, greasy track.
Sorello to Deven, 3.5 to the break. Godis down the right.
Stick.
Gets past Hoare, and still Matt Godis.
Long corner.
Long corner.
5 meters, please. Thank you.
Kavanagh in that controlling role. Centre back out of Hayward. Orchard. Again, England doing a lot of chasing and Australia doing a lot of passing. Deven. Oh, it got past Lewis, but
I'm not talking again.
Turner couldn't get a stick onto it. Lewis to Hoare. Liverpudlian over the 25, but how did they get through here? Middleton. That's a nice, incisive pass. Weir to Brogdon, but Ockenden read it well. And now some space down the right for Turner and Demond. Oh, and Jackson does well to force the long corner. And men can get back. There's some tired men getting back too. In red, they've done a lot of chasing.
Brogdon's inability to chase suggests how tired he is.
Stevens ball to no avail. 16-yard hit for England. Tim Deven found the ire of his coach with his canoe paddling celebration after he scored the opening goal against Spain. So you won't see any flair from him until, I'd suggest, much later in the tournament, if indeed he happens to add to his goal-scoring tally in The Hague.
Charlesworth, not a man that you want to annoy and frustrate as your team coach. You want to get as much court time as you can, and whilst they may do their rotations off a clock rather than off a coaching incentive to try and get back on the park, you certainly don't want to find yourself down that list of rotations.
Nice skill from Gleghorn to bring it down, and here's perhaps a chance with Catlin having Jackson to his left. Oh, read like a book by Orchard. And Simon Orchard happy to use his pace, but Turner again just puts his head back quite high. Glenn Turner.
And the tiredness in the England ranks being why Catlin's pass was read so easily. If a player has only got one pass, not only is he aware of it, the opponents are as well, and they can step in that line.
2 on Brogdon here, and hit his foot. So the seconds count down. Nervous times for England late in the half when Jamie Dwyer's on a dribbling run. Dwyer, good low stick from Jackson. Orchard over the top. Got a good swing on that. Good in baseball out of the park on that horizontal plane.
Yeah, it's come across from Dwyer. It's off Jackson's stick, taken down and creamed out the middle of the bat as Orchard should have got it on target from that with no real pressure.
Well, still, Jackson, luckily for England, getting it there and saying, put it somewhere where I can hear the hooter and we can reassess, because yet again, The Kookaburras have exploded. Govers! Oh! Can you believe that goal? That is the most brilliant goal you may ever see. The overhead from Knowles has been tapped in by Govers right on half-time. At the front and end of the half, Australia show its brilliance like only the Kookaburras can.
It was not over for Knowles. He saw the long pass. Govers is led behind the defence. One touch in. Pinner should have stepped up, should have read it right from the outset. That pressure in the circle should never have been allowed. We are not backing away. Pinner caught on his heels. Great touch, Govers. What a finish.
It will be played forever. They play hockey, that goal. 4-0 Australia at half-time. Half-time at the Kyocera Stadium, and Australia has a 4-goal lead over England. They struck in the opening moments and struck in the last moment before the half-time hooter, and 2 goals in between. Australia 4, England 0, and England shell-shocked, you'd have to say, at half-time. Here are the first half highlights, and this is the first phase of play in the game.
Right from the outset, Australia finishing bottom corner. Great smash past Pinner, but it was all caused by high Australian press. The corner was a good save from Pinner in the first instance, but De Jong able to rebound it. Pretty straightforward in from that near post as an injector coming in on the second phase play, even though there was a video referral. Didn't come off De Jong's body, came off the hand on his stick handle.
Goal stands.
So goal stands and no problem from that. Australian dominance continued, a raking pass with a final touch. Bit bobbly, potential for a corner, and then this gets video referred for the danger of the first swing. In the end, it's Dwyer, though, who taps it in. And then finally, Knowles not giving up on anything. What a pass. Govers reading it all the way, glances it into the bottom corner. What a finish to the half.
Absolutely mesmerising skill. 4-0 Australia at half-time, and as we'd expect, Simon, the numbers right of Colin illustrate the dominance that is shown on the scoreboard.
Well, obviously they're a dominant set of numbers, but I don't think they're dominant enough. England have been made to chase and chase and chase with very little outcome. Yes, Australia have had, what, 11 circle penetrations and 6 shots, but to get 5 goals from that every time, the conversion rate is just outstanding. But they have chased every ball, they have given England no breathing space.
If you can't believe that goal, it's already been tweeted on the @FIH_hockey account, the hashtag RHWC2014. You'll see the links on Facebook as well. I just need to see it again to believe what I've seen. How can this happen in the last couple of seconds of a half?
Well, pretty much every player on the turf was counting down to the clock except for 2 men. Weir gets caught too high, Pinner gets caught too deep. Knowles doesn't give up, chucks an absolute monster all the way onto that man's stick. The tattoo-armed of Govers just gliding the ball off the shaft of that composite bat into the bottom corner past Pinner. I think he should have stepped up higher. No chance once it was deflected. Needed to go about now. He's static, he jumps, it goes under him.
Kieran Govers. It was a good enough goal without Whizzer, as he's known, telling the stories in years to come. Plenty of gold in the stands. We might be able to get inside the Australian camp in just a moment. Let's get down to Michael Absalom with Rick Charlesworth.
Rick, you must be chuffed to bits with that first half.
Well, yeah, it's a thorough start. I'd be very happy with that score, but it's only half the game, you know, and I think there's a lot more to do.
Take it you're going to come out hard and fast in this second half again. What did you say to the lads at half-time?
We have to be thorough. We have to keep shifting the ball. The ball has to do the work. We have to keep trying to get penetration, and the thing that we can control is our tone, and we have to have that up.
Right, go and get them in the second half.
Thank you.
That's as happy as Rick Charlesworth gets at half-time.
I've got to agree with what he says, and if they make the ball do the work, as they've said, it's going to be an exhausted England side, because they've been made to chase over every inch inside their own half. Occasionally they've done some good things. Catlin particularly shown some flair, but it's been very individual, and they need to create some better small unit play, hold the ball for longer periods, or their pretty much legs are going to fall off. As some may suggest, the wheels have fallen off in that first half.
And look, the contest is still there, 35 minutes, but goals are an issue as well, particularly for England if they can't win the game. They can't bleed too much here.
Well, they have to keep doing what they've been told to do. They have to have faith in the process, because this is only pool game 4. There is another vital game coming up that if they were to win that with the set of results that are going on, they could still make the semi-finals. So it's now about process and about willingness to put the work in.
Whistle sounds for half 2 The Australians in gold to right, England in red to the left of your screen. And just hone in quickly, because the start and ends of halves have had something about them here, and Matt Godis, of course, was the opening scorer. As they're low in the right corner for the Aussies. Cirillo to Swan. Wetton. Poor is there with him. Chris Cirillo again, and oh, just a little bit loose, that touch from Mark Leghorn, and he's conceded a penalty corner. Had plenty of time.
Cirillo's pass was completely readable as it's come across. I know it was pitched, but he hasn't got the right side. He needed to have his back to goal as that was coming across the front of him in order to have any sort of defensive position against Devin. And the touch just edges it up. First and foremost, the height is dangerous, and then Devin's touch, it takes it down onto his foot anyway. He could award a corner for any one or two decisions.
The big dog, as he's known, Chris Cirillo, again, the prominent figure as the men in red suit up. Govers is also at the top of the battery as Zaluski brings in. It's Govers. Great lead run from Fox. And he got there to ensure it wasn't on goal. Still danger for England. Zaluski down low. Clever little touch. Oh, and just cleared. Godis was there again. Stick not dangerous. Play ball. Govers. Wetton. Wetton once and twice, but behind, and England survive.
Oh, wait for a while, wait for a while.
Oh, Wetton's down on the turf. Fox is on top of him. Ugly passage of play. It's a great first run from Dan Fox, who's taking it flat on the blade of his stick. Then great skills along the baseline as they pop in from Zaluski. Pinner with half a touch and Hoare sweeping the ball away. And then the second phase play in the end getting trapped as Wetton doesn't give it up.
This is just irrepressible at the moment. The Kookaburra's press seems omnipresent, and here goes Godis again for Australia. Trying to get onto that reverse stick, and now a bit of trickery. Beautifully done. Lewis did get there to knock it behind. And to think Matt Godis wasn't originally selected in the 18-man squad. Now Zaluski into the D. Zaluski tapped in by Wetton. I think it was Wetton with the last touch. Either way, it's 5 for Australia. Zaluski did all the work. The replay will tell us who has the honour of being the 5th goal scorer. Another for the men in gold.
Pure strength from Zaluski. He charges through 2 hideous tackles, and I think that's straight in from Zaluski. There's no movement from Wetton to suggest. Middleton clatters with Leghorn. Zaluski manages to keep his feet, drives off the right foot, and compared to a couple of the slice shots we've seen, all his body weight follows through that into the bottom corner of Pinner's net.
So, on the look of the replays we've seen, it didn't look like it got a touch from Jacob Wetton, and Aaron Zaluski will be credited with his fourth goal for Australia to make it 5-0. Oh, the concerns of that man, Bobby Crutchley.
Well, England changing the height of their press slightly. Playing half-court hasn't worked for them. It's allowed Australia to come against them, play the ball through channels, eliminate, destroy, basically, running with the ball down both flanks.
Hayward to Cirillo, and again, men in red chasing the gold ball on the stick of a player in gold. Wetton's there to recover the loose touch from Govers. And still they come. Jacob Wetton almost crediting him, getting himself another goal there. But Zaluski's shot was good enough. Now Dwyer. Knowles to Kavanagh.
Careful, careful.
Catlin closes down Zaluski. Must be so disheartening, this England team. Just trying to get on the ball, and it requires a loose pass from the skipper for England to get a chance to control the pill.
Yeah, and he was looking for an outside lead from Dwyer. Dwyer had gone infield, drawn Fox across the circle. The movement out just not quite quick enough, and even then that ball out from Hoare has just got a little bit of a bobble on it. Makes it so tough for your midfield to receive accurately.
Oh, here's Jamie Dwyer trying to work some trickery. Great low stick from Lewis. Not to concede the corner and now to come away. And there's no one there.
That's the only option Lewis has got, because Govers was giving him no space. Every time that England try and pick the ball up and drive forward, they're looking for space, they are looking for passes. There's just absolutely nobody on. It's almost like Australia are going man to man from their back line, stepping up.
Lewis again. Now Brogdon's got some space if Catlin can work for him, but again, Swan just doing enough to slow that movement down. Jackson now to Fox. And a long ball. Well controlled by Carson, is it? Yes. Tom Carson down low.
Yep.
Australia's hit.
It's all a bit hit and hope, and if you compare that to what players for Australia such as Hammond were doing down the left-hand side, driving the ball down into those channels to where Carson started, but then if there was nothing definite on, rolling out and rebuilding about 30 metres away from the opponent's goal, trying to drag players up, and when they're tired, you're not going to get that immediacy of overlap, so you need to give 2 or 3 seconds to get some support.
5-0 to Australia. Dwyer, De Jong, Godis, Zaluski, Govers, all on the scoreboard. And it seems that a 10th straight semi-final appearance for the Kookaburras at World Cups could be locked away with 1 game to play in the pool phase. Dwyer had a second man close him down. Mantell realised the danger, and Hoare's able to get on it. Oh, but Dwyer says, I'm not going to let you get away that easily. Oh, Jamie Dwyer keeps going, wins the free hit. Sorello's got Hammond wide if he wants to go there, and eventually it works out to the bald-headed Queenslander. Off the foot of Fox. Govers plays on, and another foot from Hoare.
When things are going against you, they're really going against you. Dan Fox absolutely right in his line of pass, stepping out to try and defend well, but hitting his foot.
Knowles winds up, and numbers against England in the D again, and Pinner was down. The shot didn't get on goal, but oh, the furrowed brow of the men coaching this team. Zaluski got through legs. Dwyer, penalty corner Australia. This is relentless from the Kookaburras.
It is relentless. There is no issue about Australia taking the foot off the gas, as some accused them against Belgium. Ball comes in. Zaluski's just driving like a train through that space. It's anti-skill in the end, and Dwyer able to just get a touch onto Whiteman's foot deep in that D.
So where do they go here, the Australians?
10.
It's going to be De Jong to bring in. Sorello and Govers.
Okay, hop in.
Oh, wait. Dwyer's there as well. He's now ghosting around to the right of the battery. It's already a handful. Can it be a half dozen? Sorello, well saved. That was on target. Penalty corner. Pinner doing a good job to get his stick to what I think was going inside the crossbar or underneath it.
Pinner's done really well. This has come out. Cirillo's dragged it, got under it now, rotated the right hand more to get the lift. Pinner, open stick, back of right glove, but it's punched it up into the air. He didn't know where it had gone.
A save that was needed. It was headed for the net.
Sorry, that's EHL.
The red men
Hey!
to run to their peril. Do anything they can to stop this becoming 6-0. Sorello, no variation. Govers, low, Hammond, lifted, penalty corner again. It's been one of the areas that Australia really has worked on since London.
We look at the replay, out to the slip, good disguise from Sorello, gets past Dan Fox, goes for the tip-in from Hammond. Suggestion of high ball, England not referring.
Yes, the deadly nature of the batteries of Germany and the Netherlands really standing out on that bobbly pitch at Riverbank. No referral left for England, as Govers has it saved off the stick of Middleton.
What a save by Middleton.
Oh, Barry Middleton. Stick above his head, and the ball found it. Combination of ball found stick and stick found ball, but nonetheless, that's a great piece of work from the captain.
Oh, Pinner had gone to his left, but I'm not sure his big left mitt would have got there. Just shows how vitally important it is for the lineman to keep your eye on the ball, watching it all the way onto the stick. The coordination of these athletes, exceptional.
But more danger, well, Turner is dispossessed, so perhaps a chance to have a look at that brilliant save from Middleton.
It's slung across Middleton. How's he picked that? It's come to the left-hand castle, which enables Govers to do a slider. He's opened his right wrist up across the face. Middleton has watched that all the way.
And Pinner's off his line. And Whiteman comes away. It won't stop. 17-4 circle penetrations. I'm getting a crink in my neck, looking right.
Well, if you looked a moment ago at how Mantell led out on the left-hand side, he was up against Devin out there on the left, and Devin just stepped past him to try and intercept, and that's been the problem. England's interceptions at the moment are relatively static. They just need to move their feet, possibly back line to goal a little bit more, to enable them to collect without that physical dominance.
Well, here finally a chance for England to play ball left of screen. Dixon and Middleton combined. He saved a goal a moment ago. Now he's trying to create one. Weir crashed in and no touch into the backboard. 16-yard hit.
I think long corner in the end. I think it's just come off the toe of the keeper.
Yes, you're right there, Simon. I think Charter did get a boot to that. Well, obviously did. That's the call. Mantell with a gold swarm around him.
Mantell now doing some serious defensive running.
Is away. Ford did well enough to hold him up. Takes the free hit quickly. Orchard running in support. He's got Turner in the circle. Mantell, good stick. And it went back onto Orchard, sticking behind. So, momentary respite for England. Good work from Simon Mantell.
Incredible physical effort from Mantell. He may have been unsuccessful at the other end, but as soon as the breakdown play was in Australia's favour, put on the afterburners and was chasing back initially through Dwyer, and then eventually, as Orchard rotated past him up that right-hand touchline, last touch being vital.
Condon battling away down the right side. Again, the Kookaburras. Oh, good release here. The two shaven-headed Warriors combining their Hammond and Turner.
It was a beautiful weighted pass from Turner. To all intents and purposes, everybody thought it was just a chuck to nothing from Hammond down that touchline. Turner had read it.
Now Godis. Good tackle from Hoare. It's amazing to see Matt Godis here, having scored the first goal of the game. He was a youngster watching cousin Jamie score the golden goal in Athens in 2004 in Australia's famous Olympic victory there. And he went on to, of course, there's cousin Jamie, the 35-year-old. And, of course, Mark Knowles, the captain of Australia, is married to Jamie Dwyer's sister. So there's a real connection of families around this Australian team from the Rockhampton region in central Queensland, as Orchard is away. And here is the aforementioned Godis. Ockenden off the foot of Orchard.
Well, Australia had come through the midfield at 4-on-3. Ockenden had led up into the circle, was uncontested for a period.
What will it take to make this man happy? I think the scoreboard in front in the last game of the tournament, and that's about it for Rick Charlesworth. This is his last really big campaign. Of course, the Commonwealth Games to come for these two nations, but success in The Hague, priority over success in Glasgow in this calendar year of hockey for these two teams, that's for sure. Cirillo. Play ball off the touch of Fox.
I think Fox would have got the benefit of the doubt. His touch falling into space, and Weir was able to step up to support behind him. England need to get their support running off the shoulders of the ball carrier. They're having to do so much when they haven't got the ball. It just means that when they have got it, they're a little bit pedestrian. If they're going to attack with purpose, they need to get 2 or 3 men around the ball.
A bit of space for Weir here. Orchard with a low stick. England's ball. 5-0 Australia. 19.5 left in this second to last pool game in Pool A for these two teams. India awaits for Australia in the last game, and well, it could be somewhat of a cutthroat game for a spot in the finals. England and Belgium to meet next. Now here's a half shot on goal. Condon without great timing. Charter boots it.
There was a half-hit divot into the turf, wasn't it? The Charter had to get rid of. Umpire's right to let play go on.
I'm just doing some quick arithmetic in my head. Let's assume that Australia wins today. England would then need to beat Belgium to make the semi-finals. Belgium 2 points clear, having beaten Spain today, are on 9 points. England, if they can't pick up a point here, will reign on 7. So hence a draw between Belgium and good enough, and England would be good enough for the Red Lions to progress, and England bow out of the medal calculations.
Yeah, I think even if England had won this game, it was still a case that they were going to need a result, a minimum of a point against Belgium.
Well, Govers, just hold that thought as Weir. That's a nice close one-on-one challenge.
We're a little bit fortunate. Hand in the middle of Govers' back as he tried to put the reverse stick tackle in.
An illustration of Australia's consistency at World Cups. Australia has not missed a semi-final since 1975. This makes it 10 in a row. And they missed a medal once in that run of 9.
Poor show.
But it must be said, just 2 World Cup titles, but it is an incredibly consistent team that Australia has been able to put together since the mid-70s. And again, Godas, that cross is booted by Pinner, and Shingles clears. Catlin has got some help in Whiteman, as Govers was lurking again.
But it almost feels a little bit rushed in that passage of play. Condon looking for Catlin. Catlin having to do all the dribbling on his own, being played in at centre-half into a whole world of trouble. Whereas a much smoother interchange, such as that one with Wetton leading through, it's a one-pass elimination.
And here's half a chance for Gleghorn. Or concern on those in red.
The sunglasses on the right, Wes Jackson, Ashley's brother.
Right, and to say he's been quiet today, well, everyone's been quiet. Those midfield players that we used to see buzzing around, Jackson and Dixon, they've been doing a lot of chasing, haven't they? Haven't had much of a chance to really work the ball.
When England's played well over the course of this tournament, there's been some small triangles, some interchange play. Dixon not so much being involved, but Jackson and Middleton showing their class at times, able to get Catlin away with some attacking opportunity. That just hasn't happened today. England found it very, very difficult to get hold of this ball, never mind keep hold of it.
Well, Jackson's got it here, as Godas was looking for De Jong. And now, Alistair Brogdon down the left. For England, into the D, no, play ball.
I don't understand how that's not a free hit. Brogdon's changed direction, played the ball into space. Different to what Whiteman did a moment ago, which was then 10 yards away from him.
Quick ball for Wetton. Orchard has got Govers with him. That's off an English stick and behind.
Well, if Orchard had just cut in field, taken one pace right to left, it would have straightened up the defenders. He could have dropped the ball under his shoulder to Cirillo. Australia would have had a shooting chance.
De Jong once more. Jackson foiling with a good touch. Three-time Olympian Liam De Jong. Cirillo into the D. Play ball.
It was even 6.
Hoofed clear by Jack Fox. It was even 6. Bit of humour from our umpires. I think that was the South African, wasn't it? Gary Simons and Raoul Van Aert, the two officials here. Shingles and Dixon. Big Dan Shingles.
Stick.
Playing through contest Shingles. I know he's a powerful man, but if Wetton's there with his stick on the ground, or any Australian at that point, don't need to play through those spaces. You just need to get your angles, move with the ball off with the point that you're at that moment in time, deliver the space.
It's a good read there by Kavanagh to the through ball from Weir, and England a chance to build again, but the petrol has been spent chasing. It's a very good point you make, Simon. England starting to get a bit of ball. Bobby Crutchley, he knows of the energy sapping nature of running hard when not in possession.
Well, Australia have run hard, and they will continue to do so because Charles will want to maintain the momentum. He'll want to set a platform for that last pull game and awareness of the medal rounds. But he'll also just want to hold some energy in the tank, a little bit of a reserve, because whilst you're running hard, you're not running at full intensity. You'll take 5% off and it'll save so much.
And here is De Jong. Govers comes to help out for his company. Sorello with a fine track. Kavanagh, where will it go? More patience from Australia here, searching for a 6th goal. They're headed to the semi-finals. They're headed to the top of the group. It's a matter of taking care of business for the Kookaburras. Turner under the body of Shingles. And Matty Swan says, I'll play ball. Jackson, no, to come away.
Jackson's line of carry inviting the tackle, but he knew that he could get the ball to air, get it up over the defensive stick or the opponent's stick at that moment, which gave him a little bit more chance. But the awareness from Australia is exceptional. When the free hit's given, players chasing onto the ball.
Well, Weir gets it through. Mantell's half a chance here. Down in the right corner. That was a bit crude from Zalewski. Just the free hit. No need for a card. Mantell winds up. Play it again.
All 5, please. Yeah, thank you.
Zalewski wins out in the end. And again, Australia has space in midfield. To show its skill, it's Simon Orchard with Turner breaking ahead. Ball closes down, back for Dwyer. He doesn't mind a bit of space. Perhaps some trickery from the 5-time World Player of the Year. At 35 years of age, he's still got the tricks, but doesn't have a man on the back line.
Yeah, lack of communication there. He was expecting Turner just to pop out off his back foot. Dwyer, in the end, accepting responsibility for the poor pass. But as Child went through the midfield, you looked at the comparison between him and Whiteman. Whiteman was giving it everything he had. Cadence on his legs was high, chasing, puffing. Whereas Orchard just basically stretched away from him. Looked smooth, gliding, suggesting energy to burn.
De Jong, looking for Dwyer. Free hit England. It's assuming that Jamie Dwyer plays against India. When the Kookaburras play for medals, there might be another goal here. Pinner, great save. That was a rocket at the top right in Pinner's left glove. Well, he may well shake his head. Turner got a huge piece of that.
Oh, that's old school centre forward.
Get it and give it a rip. Is there any consolation? Well, not right now for England. Yes, I was about to say, when Dwyer suits up for the medal game, be it the bronze or gold medal game with Australian destined for the semi-finals, he will equal Jay Stacey's record of 321 caps for the Kookaburras. That's to come.
And what's more amazing about that is because geographically of where they are, it's not as easy as the Europeans who can just pop 50 kilometres over a border and get a couple of international caps over the course of a weekend. For these guys, they have to travel on long tours. Harder to pick up all of those caps. But for him to have done so and broken that record is exceptional.
Well, he's out in front here and receiving the overhead from Hammond. Turner, Pinner off his line, back to Dwyer. Seal it, Jamie. Oh, he's put it to the left.
Has Pinner saved that?
Oh, I think
Something's
he's mishit
happened.
it.
It's gone long corner, so it can't be a straight hit off the baseline.
This time, Knowles. I'd like to have another look at that.
So it went for long corner. It has to hit something. Dwyer can't have missed from that range. Turner unselfishly draws the goalkeeper, fires it back to Dwyer. Miss-hit. It's an actual last-ditch tackle. I think it's Lewis who gets the Gleghorn that gets the last touch. That's the preceding shot.
Well, another chance here, but Whiteman comes away. Did you see a deflection on that shot?
It was Gleghorn. Gleghorn chasing back just as Dwyer went to strike. Gleghorn just got the edge of his stick, touching it to the left of Dwyer. Here's the jab and shot from...
Well, it was actually Hammond who...
That's the straight shot. Hammond just fires it straight at Pinner's left glove. It's straight at him. That's great control from the keeper. Saw it coming, angled the glove away.
Well, Godis, he started it with a goal in the opening seconds.
I'm not sure how that's play on. All the players stopped because the ball had gone to air. Even Australia, there's no advantage to Hoare to have it on the end of his stick on his own baseline in the circle.
Kavanagh, Dwyer, great save, Pinner. Brilliant execution, great keeping. That's fine hockey all round.
That's a super touch from Dwyer. Pinner alert to it, does well to get down to his right. Big left hand across, and again, the angle on that left-hand pad. The sound we can hear, however, is goalkeepers at the other end changing ends. I'm fairly sure that's because Charter's really tired from the amount he's had to do.
Tyler Lovell gets his chance. This has been a pretty easy day at the office for Andrew Charter. So the 22-year-old earns his 29th cap. Tyler Lovell. 8 to play. It was 4-0 at half-time, and just the one so far in this second half. 5 individual scorers for Australia: Dwyer, DeYoung, Godis, Salewski and Guthers. And do yourself a favour. Find the tweet on the @FIH_hockey Twitter feed, or like the Facebook page, look for the clip and favourite that unbelievable goal that Kieran Guthers scored. Share it with your friends. It is one of the most magnificent things you will see in field hockey. Ockenden away. Wetton, loves space to run. Nice pressure there to stop Jake Wetton.
There's a little bit of a conversation going on down in front of us. You might be able to hear it. We can hear it in our earphones. The umpire still just warning the players to be careful. There's a line that they have to tread. Still a physical contest between Hoare and Wetton deep in the circle. Hoare not willing to give any ground despite the scoreline.
And they'll go at it again. The 2 number 12s. Oh, there's a loose touch from Wetton. He's not letting Hoare out easily. Dixon helps. Wetton gets a touch. And
16.
Catlin sees it behind. Should I say, Lewis sees it behind.
Yeah, Wetton again is right in his face, pacing out the 5 yards to make sure that he's right on the line of where he can be, forcing Hoare to take it forwards into contact.
Play on.
Dixon to Brogdon. And now Weir. Is there some joy for those in red? As Henry Weir makes a good incisive run, but had to do it all himself. Free hit Australia.
Well, Carson's support was based on the uncertainty of England at the moment, because instead of leading high with Weir, he came back into a defensive role.
Orchard to Turner. Oh, and Wetton somehow got his stick to that. Free hit England on the stick check from Jake Wetton.
At the moment, the amount that man is able to get his stick on just about every ball is outstanding. He's reading every play, he's got an extra metre of space, chasing from behind and shave tackling.
Just a real terrier, isn't he? Now Orchard to a very solid tournament to date. Shingles doing enough to force the mistrap from Glenn Turner. Yeah, he's got a bit of that that mullet look, Jake Wetton. It's not the full mullet at the moment. Turner. You use that term in Britain with that hairstyle?
What, for a really bad haircut?
Yeah, basically.
Absolutely.
Flowing out the back and short at the front, across the fringe. 5-0 Australia. That's a dangerous entry from Simon Orchard. And we are just into the wind-down phase now.
Yeah, the clock ticking down, and Charlton will be making some tactical changes. He'll probably set his defensive line a little bit deeper if he wants to save any form of energy at all. I'm not suggesting his team need it in any way, but you never know when you're going to need just that extra 1% of gas in a later game. And now's the time to start thinking about where you can get it from.
Well, Fox. Play ball, Weir. Oh, Ockenden just comes away. Here he is once more.
Look at the legs up this side. Govers is absolutely rocketed past Middleton. Middleton's seen it late and had to match the tempo.
Oh, Wetton with some lovely skill for Dwyer. Working the back line, Jamie Dwyer. Will he be content to try and force a corner and go for goal? No. Shingles did well. Dwyer wasn't trying to find the foot. He wanted to try and put it in or find another stick.
He had no interest in trying to find a foot there. He wanted to showcase some of the best dribbling in the world. Left, right, holding the ball pretty much between his feet as he moved laterally and then popping it slightly further. Shingles having to spin off his toes.
So the Australian women will play later on today against the Netherlands, and that's two unbeaten teams in the women's side of things. The men have taken care of business, that's for sure. And the England men really are the hope of England at this tournament, with the bronze medalists from London. The England women just struggling a little here in The Hague. It's going to be a really high-intensity clash, that battle against Belgium, with all 3 points required by Barry Middleton and his men to make the medal rounds. Now Jackson. Here's Weir working hard, gets in behind Hayward, but loses his footing.
And many of the teams in some of the interviews that we hear are talking about taking things a game at a time, and we ask that question sometimes when teams have done really well and they're going forward with some momentum, but exactly the same applies in a game when you haven't played particularly well. You go back, you debrief it, highlight the negatives, address them, focus on the positives.
Jackson has Tyler Lovell interested. Ash Jackson, oh, looking for Middleton, but just failed to find the stick. Lovely skill from the England number 7. But at the other end, the gold wave keeps coming right of screen. De Jong just out of gas to get that pass from Orchard.
This is how you do it. Now we see the dribbling. Absolutely. Watch Jamie Dwyer get his feet round. Watch him go right and left as he gets his feet round in a moment. There, now he goes right, left, tries to get Shingles to move, goes through the space. Shingles manages to keep his balance and steal it.
Is this the last time we see him at a really big world tournament? Jamie Dwyer. He wants to go to the Commonwealth Games, and beyond that, we're not quite sure for Jamie Dwyer. Mark Knowles has done his bit.
Stick.
Well, and I think a world-class player such as Jamie Dwyer has to take it a tournament at a time. You have to see how the body's holding up, get through something. Maybe you've got an incentive to play in a particular competition because of geography or because of what you want to achieve as a cap record, but you just get to that again and again.
And I think the financial incentive of the relatively newly formed Hockey India League is helping a lot of these experienced players, if they're still good enough, because a lot of these players can't make a great living out of hockey. But it really does help if you're one of the best in the world and you can go and make some good money in a tournament like the HIL. Almost to full time here. Inside the last half minute. There were goals in the opening and closing half minutes of the first half. Another wonderful display from the men in gold, and you can see out there everyone's had enough. This fight was over a long time ago.
Well, we said everybody had enough with 8 seconds to go in the first half. Can Dwyer do something?
Cracks one in, behind by Shingles. Australia yet again reached the semi-finals of the World Cup, and they've done it with a game to play in the pool phase. England will face a battle against Belgium for the second place in Pool A. That man Govers scored one of the greatest goals you'll ever see. Australia winning the game by 5-0.
Well, and England will feel it as they come off the pitch. Australia dominated absolutely every single area on that pitch. The statistics, the skills, the running, the possession. England need to go back to the drawing board, work out what they did well, work out what they did badly, and look forward to that game against Belgium.
He's immortalised himself today, Kieran Govers. Whenever they play hockey, they'll replay that goal. One of the highlights as Australia put on a handful to England's 0. So the reaction will be interesting here. Hot Saturday afternoon in The Hague, and these men played hot hockey. The men in goal were brilliant. But still, Barry Middleton and his Chargers, they'll fight back hard, you know that, as Red meets the Red Lions next.
Well, that man in the middle of the shot, though, with one piece of absolute brilliance, probably one of the goals of this World Cup, but it was more his pace and his power around other areas of the pitch, as well as that single touch goal just before half-time. That man, however, will have a lot of thinking to do. He's going to have to address some things tactically. I don't think England got it quite right today. And see what he needs to do in 2 days' time.
Ockenden and Wetton showing some good camaraderie, and it looks like we're going to be able to get to the Australian captain, Mark Knowles, imminently. He's in position. Let's go. Michael Absalom.
Mark, congratulations. Well done. You're through to the semi-finals.
Yeah, thank you. It was obviously the first step of coming to a tournament like this. Amazing stadium and beautiful Australian weather today, so we've achieved the first part of our goal, but we know there's a lot of big games still to come.
Nice to do it with the game in hand, and nice to do it in the style and the fashion that you did this afternoon against England. You must be very pleased with the manner in which the team worked together to get those goals.
Yeah, certainly. I think what we've been trying to build towards is a more, I suppose, polished team performance, and today, for the most part, it was really, really good, really solid. And, you know, we get India now before a good long break and a preparation for our semi-final opponents.
All right, enjoy the India game. We'll see you in the semis.
Very much, Ta.
All right, we've got Barry Middleton with us as well alongside. Barry, if you want to step in, commiserations there. Most of the damage done in the first half.
Yeah, I think we saw at half-time it was kind of done then, and it was a bit tough in the second half, just not knowing how to really go about it. You want to go and attack them, but then you open yourself up. We let ourselves down massively early on in the first half. We're just switching off and a few mistakes, and however badly you play, you still got to be tough in front of the goals, and we probably didn't do that enough today.
It leaves you with a must-win game now against Belgium. For the neutral, it's a great game for you guys. You have to win it to make the semis.
Yeah, it's a great game for us. We came into this knowing that probably the Belgian game turns into a quarter-final. This result doesn't change too much on that. You lose 1-0, you lose 5-0. Yeah, it's annoying, but it doesn't change what we have to do on Monday, is it now? I forget what day it is, but for us, that's what we're aiming at, and we're happy to have another chance to put things right, and we usually do that. We come back strong after defeats.
What will be said now? What will go on behind the scenes in that preparation for that quarter-final, as you label it?
It'll just be about trying to remind ourselves what a team we are and forget about the things we did wrong today. We obviously work on those and make sure it doesn't happen again, but we tell ourselves that we are a good team, and this doesn't change anything going into that game.
All right, see you back here in a couple of days.
Thank you.
Great to hear from both captains as we look at the standings in Pool A. Australia through to its 10th consecutive World Cup semi-final. Belgium and England will fight for the second place there. England needing all 3 points to progress. A draw will be good enough for the Red Lions to battle for medals here. India, Spain and Malaysia out of contention as far as the berths in the semi-finals are concerned. Kieran Govers delighted us with one of the great moments of the 2014 Hockey World Cup. Mark Knowles, provider. But Wizza, as he's known, got the final touch. And that was with seconds, mere seconds on the clock in the first half. Eyes on the ball, directed underneath George Pinner's glove, and home for one of the great highlights of the Hague 2014. Thanks for your company, Simon Mason. It was a tough day for English supporters, but they've got a bigger fight to come. Australia is comfortably through to the semi-finals, and they will play India next. Plenty more to come on this Saturday from the Hockey World Cup in The Hague. Make sure you stick around as we continue with this fine sky, a beautiful setting at the Kyocera Stadium. A great setting for Australia today. The Aussies 5-0 over England.